All right. All you shucking and jivers. Shucking and jivers. Oh, look at my hair. It's beautiful, isn't it? All right. So just want to do a little, I need my fan. It's hot in here. What's going to happen to America? What are we going to do? Whose fault is it? Who's on first and what's on second? Who's buying America? How much does it cost? Yeah. Who put the bow in the bow, shabow, shabow? And the bam and the devil and bing bong. Yeah. Debt crisis. There it is. All right. So who's buying America when the land goes up for sale? So there's a few problems with that. One, we all know that the land was stolen. Well, able to pay that, not able to pay that right. And the reason why I'm saying who's buying America is because this whole thing that they got going on here in October, talking about how much they owe. And like I said, we don't know who they owe it to. And we're not able to pay it. The citizens can't pay it. So just like a car or a house, if it's, China owns the land. But it's just like in anything, if somebody owns it and you owe money for it and you can't pay, then somebody's coming for it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, are we going to see Red Dawn? Remember Red Dawn? It was about the Soviets. Red Dawn 2 was actually about the Chinese invading America. So Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze, then they made another one about maybe 5 years ago. And it was with the Chinese coming over here and, taking over America, so on and so forth. And is that possible? I think it's actually possible without firing a shot. And then, of course, the people who are already here will live in a communist country, just like China. And I can actually see that happen. Now, of course, there will be a civil war. There's no doubt about that. I'm about to say, there's no way that black people are going to live in a communist country. And there's no way that free-thinking white people or any race are going to live in a communist country who have not grown up in that country. And and the reason why I'm talking about this is because America, along with other European nations, are adapting Asians, especially China, their way of deploying freedom or the lack thereof to the citizens. So they have this whole thing in China where there's cameras everywhere. That's for one. And if you're a good citizen, a good, upstanding citizen, you're able to travel on a train, travel on a bus. You're able to eat at certain places other people are not privy to. And this is all based on an algorithm that a computer is doing. And, then they have people watching this and they're going, well, Mei Fong is an upstanding citizen, so she can eat at, restaurant number 1, best restaurant there is. But Mei Fong's cousin, he ain't been doing so good, so he gets to only eat at tier 4 and 5 restaurants. He can't make it up to tier, 3 and 2. He's just not good enough for that yet because he hasn't been a model citizen. So that's what they got going on over here. And America is adopting that. And how we already know this is because Australia is doing what they're doing now. And America's already talking about it. They're they're already talking about it. And Joe Biden actually made a scary statement about coming to get everybody's guns. It's like, we're going to come to your door, and if you have weapons, we're going to come and take it. So that just lets you know that they're going to defang the American, any uprising. They're just going to stomp it out. They're going to come to your door, snatch you up. We know that you have registered weapons. And just so you know, if you register anything with the state, it pretty much means that they own it. If you register your marriage, they're the third party of your marriage. I kid you not. When you register your baby, brand new baby being born, guess who is the owner of the birth certificate? The state is. They're the owner of the birth certificate. They're the owner of that person. And then, of course, there's the straw man, which is you. So there are two individuals. There's the individual on paper, then there's you, the straw man. And the same thing with your vehicle, your house. You do not own these things. So they're trying to adopt a very communist way of living, and everything that we see with the mRNA is definitely going that route. Now, Dave Chappelle made a joke talking about how black people were accosting Asian people and beating them up. And he made a joke saying he feels like that's what his blood is doing every day to the coronavirus. It was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. It was like, we know that the coronavirus came from over there. So my blood cells and everything, being that I haven't caught COVID, that's what David is saying. He hasn't caught COVID. So he knows his blood cells are fighting whatever that is and keeping it away from him. Now, I'm not going to go into COVID because it's a dangerous territory, and YouTube and other platforms have stripped away anything that has to do, with any negative connotations towards COVID. So they're policing it pretty good. But nonetheless, my point is, it just wouldn't surprise me if we see people goose-stepping, in military form down the street. It's not going to surprise me. Look, all of the people who are exempt, all of the people who are exempt and who have taken mRNA are on one side of this whole thing. All the people who refuse to get it are on the other side of this whole thing. Now, look at how they divided everything. All the people who are leaving the military because they do not want to get the mRNA, they're going to be civilians, and they're going to be dishonorably charged. So there's a lot of families that are just going to be, tossed out here into the world of, you got to hurry up and get a job. You got to, you have babies to feed, and so on and so forth. But you're not going to get no help from the military. And they're thinking about court-martialing all those people. Now, if they court-martial you, they have to court-martial you before you leave. And if you get court-martialed or it's called an Article 15, if you get court-martialed or Article 15, I don't know if they still call it that, but that's what it was when I was in. There's different levels to your court-martial and or Article 15. Like, I got an Article 15 for driving without a license when I was in Germany. But nonetheless, it was no punishment. I didn't go to jail or anything. They just took my vehicle from me. Said, you have to have a license. And that was the end of that. But nonetheless, court-martial, they can actually throw you in military jail. In military jail, your rights are different than what they are if you're a citizen. So if they court-martial people before they leave the military, and or because I know the deadline is like the 22nd of this month. If they go to someone and go, are you going to get the shot? And they're going, nope, Corporal so-and-so, I'm not going to get the shot. I have my religious reasons. I don't know enough about it, so on and so forth. I'm not getting it. Okay, we're going to court-martial you. If that's what they do, which they can do, if that's what they do, then they can throw all of those soldiers into prison and take away their money. When they do that, like I said, there's families who depend on them. You have people, if they do that, then they're going to force the soldier to either take the mRNA or be held indefinitely in a prison, in a military prison. And this is what they're talking about. Now, some people think, oh, the court-martial is going to happen after they let them go. That's not how court-martials work. You don't become a civilian and then they court-martial you, at least not to my knowledge. That's not how that works. They don't kick you out. For one, if they kick you out, that's an Article 15 there. It's a punishment for them to kick you out. So if you don't want to get the shot and they kick you out, you're being punished. They're punishing you. And they're saying, your DD-214, all that is null and void. So when you think about that, they're causing a division between the people division between the people that will end in violence. It will. You're not going to casually take some of these E5s and E6s who done seen battle, and just casually walk them into a jail cell. You're going to have soldiers who are going to run. They're going to go AWOL. That's another punishment. And you're going to have soldiers, especially down there at Fort Hood, who are just going to all out open fire on you. They're just going to, if there's the guys who are over there in Camp Lejeune and stuff like that, and they come back here and you talk about, we're going to court-martial you if you don't get the mRNA, they're going to look at you sideways. They're going to be like, I just fought for my country. And the worst part of all this, and you're going to what? Nope. If they can get a hold of a weapon, they're going to fire on anybody. I'm just telling you now, it's one of the craziest. Those are some of the Nazi people. Doggone knows it just won't stop. I think it's the dust from this fan. Man. Anyways, I'm trying to do a live here. It's not working, is it? What's going to happen to America once the soldiers are all divided up? Once the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine is all fighting against each other. Once our military is weakened, because that's what's going to happen, the military is going to be weakened. And we already know that the military is going to be weakened because we already seen when they invaded the White House, how certain military members were not willing to listen to the vice president. And they left him there. And they left that whole cabinet there and all those people at the mercy of those crazies who were trying to get in. And they called for help from the military, and the military did not want to come because the commander-in-chief was Donald Trump. And he was like, don't do it. They were like, not going to do it. And then finally somebody came to their senses, and the National Guard pulled up, and things got, all sorted out. But nonetheless, it just shows you that everybody in the American military are not on the same side. Anyways, my nose is doing a thing here tonight. I'm trying to do this, but it's not working out. I think there's one person here. I don't know who it is, but thank you for stopping by. But yeah, when you guys want to talk about this, I will. Yeah, tonight's just not going to be. Trying to get this dust out. I might have to wear a mask. Talk to you guys through a mask. Anyway, so yeah, it's going to get crazy. So brace yourself. And a lot of people are talking about arming themselves, getting registered weapons, which means they're going to know you have a weapon. And they're going to come see you if you do have a weapon, registered weapon. And they're going to take that weapon from you. Once all this stuff goes down and, thousands and thousands of people are locked up and or dead, it's going to be like what happened in Denver, 2 years ago? When they went up there and those farmers got upset about the federal, when they went up there and took over the federal building, which there wasn't a lot of people in there, but they got upset because of what the federal government was doing as far as the farmers were concerned, and they were just like, we had enough. So they went and took over the building and camped out in front of the building. That was pretty much it. Well, the federal government was like, look, you guys, you got to get out of the building. And they gave them a fair chance. You got to go. You guys can't hang out in front of this building like you own it. And they were like, no, we want our rights. We want you guys to change what you've been doing. And they just, they were tired of the bureaucracy, the paperwork, and the long-handled spoon, the way you were dealing with them. And they said, forget it, we're just going to take it over. Well, they did. And then, when the federal government decided to come and get those people away from there, some people went peacefully, and they were arrested. And other people decided, screw that. I'm going to run over the federal police. I'm just going to, this guy who had his daughters and stuff in the car, he was just like, I'm just going to screw this guy. So he tried to run him over in his big old truck, and it veered off in the snow. And, the agent was like, chill out. And he had a gun on him. And Pops just didn't want to chill. He just, I don't know why you wouldn't. And he ended up dying. That was it. I mean, that federal agent had every right to protect himself. This guy was very, very upset, understood. And the agent did not want to shoot him. But this just goes to show you the resilience and the resistance that America will be facing if they go and try to mess with these people. And we're not even going to talk about the 11 groups of militias that there are. I mean, these guys are ramped up and ready to fight anything. But I'm pretty sure that some of them are aware of the monster that is America. America is so heavily armored and so heavily strapped and so ready to kill anyone that they have machines just for riots. They have a sound machine that they use just to drive down the street, and if there's crowd in front of it, they turn on this thing, and it pretty much will get you out of there real quick. I mean, America has scientific ways of getting rid of you and or killing you. So you don't really know what you're up against. And if you think that your AR-15 is going to protect you, you are sorely mistaken. Because if they want to wipe you out, they'll do what they did to the black people and drop those move bombs right on your head. Remember that? When the move people didn't want to be a part of America, and the police made a big deal and yada yada yada, they blew those people up. They blew them up. They'll do that to anybody. America is a corporation. They have no allegiance to you. You go, I was born here. I fought in the service. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. America does not care. They will send you off to war and watch you get blown up, hand you a flag to your parents or whatever, and then go on about their day. They do not care. And we know they don't care because senators' sons and daughters don't go to war. So for all you people who are high and mighty about America and all its freedoms and all this other bull crap, all right, tell me one senator's child that went to war and was in the vanguard. Tell me one. No, you can't. You can't. You'll have to dig real hard to find them. You can't tell me one. Tell me one U.S. senator's child who was over there fighting for their so-called freedom. They don't care about you. They don't. Remember D-Day? Remember that? What they did over there? They were like, the only way that we can take this this part of we can storm Normandy. The only way we can do this is send as many people as we can at them at once. You see what happened with D-Day? You see that? All those people that got slaughtered? They had M50s sitting on a hill with armor-piercing rounds, watching the ships pull up and waiting for you to try to come to land. No. You don't do that to somebody you care about. You do that to somebody who doesn't matter. That's what they did. You don't matter. You do not matter. You don't matter. You as a person in America do not matter. Your vote does not matter. You don't. I'm sorry. All you people who make millions of dollars and you think that you matter, you think your vote matters. Your vote hasn't probably never mattered when it comes to picking the presidency. So recently, they have found all of this fraudulent action that happened during the, voting of Joe Biden against Donald Trump. And all of these states are going, there's clear evidence that it was fraudulent. And Donald Trump should have been president, so on and so forth. The whole thing was fraudulent. And I'm going, Donald Trump became the president because Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but she lost the delegates. Let's go back even further. George Bush lost twice, and he still became president. Then he pretty much bankrupted the world and killed millions of people, started a war, and he's, at home eating tabbouleh salad. So don't talk about voting being fraudulent when it was fraudulent a long time ago and you knew it was fraudulent. It was fraudulent a long time. We don't want to hear it. We know that the popular vote means nothing. Damn knows. We know that the popular vote means absolutely nothing. Nothing. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Who else won the popular vote? Al Gore won the popular vote. The only one that won by a landslide, and it was just not even close, was I don't know why I can't say his name. The only black president. You guys know his name. Anyways, I don't know why I'm struggling because of my nose. Barack Obama. He's the only one that won by a landslide. Like it wasn't even a race. Hillary Clinton got nowhere near Barack Obama. Not in the delegates, not in the super delegates, and not in the popular vote. And to make it so bad, the public voted for him on such a wide scale that it was over pretty much before it started. As soon as she became the primary, it was a done deal. As soon as they seen who he was going to run against, and they knew who was going to win the primary, and they set that woman up to fail. And she had nothing when it came to debating against Barack Obama. She had nothing. He chewed her up just by being nice to her and called her. He said, now we're in the silly season, because they were just bringing up anything. It was like, you lost terribly. But nonetheless, she beat the pants off of Donald Trump, and Donald Trump still became president. Your vote does not and has never mattered. It really doesn't. The only thing that matters is the delegates and the super delegates. That's it. And those are just a handful of people. That's not even 500 people. And those are the people who control the presidency. That's it. So let's get back to what are they going to do with America? What's going to happen to America when all of our banking problems come to fruition? For one, this is a one-time, like this has never happened before. America has never been in this position that we are facing right now. It's never happened before in history, and I'm willing to doubt that somewhere because of all the wars we've been fighting. But nonetheless, so this is where we're at. What's going to happen to America? What's going to happen to you, the American? That's the real question. What's going to happen to you? How are you going to be able to afford to live? Now, the reason why this is such an important question is because if America financially goes down, we still have to live. There's still commerce, correct? There's still businesses. But now we're looking at where a loaf of bread, I just happen to have some bread, might cost you $1.50. Now that loaf of bread is going to go up and it's going to cost you $10 for the loaf of bread. Can you afford a $10 loaf of bread? Some of you are going, absolutely. I can afford a $10 loaf of bread. I can do that. I can afford a $15 crate of eggs. I can afford, $12 gallon of milk, $13 gallon of orange juice, yada, yada, yada. Once you start getting into the meat section now, and let's see if I got something here. Okay. Here's Shire Farms roast beef. Sorry, my nose. Here's Shire Farms roast beef, right? This right here costs $3.99. That's how much this costs. By next month, this can cost you easily over $20 for one. A 40% markup. And people will be scrambling for it. If you think I'm lying, just go and look. See, this has happened somewhere in the world before. And that's how they know that if America goes down, you're going to be paying $25 for one of these. That's how they know. And if you just look at something that's $3.99, the next thing you know, it's costing you, it's at a 40% markup, you can just take everything and just scale it up 40% and then look at the cost of living. Here's the problem. If you're still making, let's just say you make a medium wage. The average wage for an African-American man is $42,000 a year. That's the average wage for an African-American male. $42,000. That's not bad. You can afford maybe a wife, maybe one kid off of that. Yeah, I don't know. Depends on where you live. You can do something with that. $42,000. She works. If you're both making, if you're both doing, $40,000 a year, that's $80,000. You can make that work. You can definitely make that work in some places where the cost of living is not high, like here in Ohio. Cost of living is not high here. If you go to LA, it will change. If you go to New York, that'll change. If you live in Cleveland, it depends on where you live. But if you live in Columbus, probably not so much. You could do it as long as you don't go any upscale places. $80,000, got a kid, wife, it's doable, right? You're going, okay, now you're renting. You're not buying a home with $80,000 in the two of you. You're not buying a home. You're renting a home. And let's just say the cost of a home that you're renting is, let's be honest, let's say it's $1,400. You're renting. This is not your mortgage. This is just what you're renting. This is not your mortgage. You're renting this house, it's $1,400. Or we can even go less. There, you get a 2-bedroom here. Let's just say it's $1,000. We'll keep it even. It's $1,000. This is your rent. Now, the person who owns the house has a mortgage. That mortgage is going to go up. Now, let's just say that they're paying for the same house. They're paying $800 a month in mortgage, which means they're making $200 off of it, right? So you're going, okay, my rent's $1,000. I'm doing pretty good, We still got a little bit of change. We got an IRA. We got a little bit of savings. We got an IUL. We're not doing too terribly. We got 2 cars, both of them used. We didn't buy them new. We don't have a high payment on anything. We're living. We're okay. We're doing okay. Kids going to a decent school. We're doing okay. Yada, yada, yada. In less than a month, or actually this month, all that can change. Now, we've seen this before. We've seen where inflation has changed everyday life. I don't know what's going on. We've seen where inflation changes everyday life, right? When's the last time we've seen this? The housing crisis, the subprime lenders. Remember, everybody was caught up in the subprime lenders? Some people went to jail. You know why they went to jail? Because of ethics. They were telling people they could afford a home, but they didn't tell the people that, yeah, we'll get you into this house, this nice 3-bedroom, 2-car garage, double deck. with sitting on a half acre. Beautiful. We even throw in a tree. You got a tree in the back. Yeah, a tree. We're gonna throw that in there for you. Yeah, it's only gonna cost you $700 a month. People were like, I'm in. They're gonna be like, how much do you make? Collectively, we make 100 grand. Collectively. How big is your family? We got 3 kids. One of them's a twin. So we got a 5-year-old, we got a 10-year-old, and we got a 12-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So we're in it. And 2 of them are girls. So the oldest one's a girl, and the younger one's a girl. So your cost is going through the roof, right? So boom. They're like, yeah, you know what? We can get you out of that 2-bedroom apartment on the south side. We can put you on the north side into this. Hey, what's going on? We can put you on the north side into this beautiful home that we just built. Nice neighborhood, quiet. You go to this nice school over here. Boom, bam, boom. It's not far from your jobs. You guys make 100K. Boom, you can do it. Then they go, okay, fine. We're going to put you on a 30-year loan, right? Instead of a 15-year, 30-year. And the house is $275,000. You know, ooh, that's kind of steep. Don't worry about it. It's a 30-year loan. We have the rates to where we have the cost that's down here. They're like, what's going to be the mortgage every month? $750. What? I'll take it. $750,000 or $750. I'll take it. Family jumps in, moves all their stuff there. Boom, they're paying it. Paying the $750. They're living good. Next thing you know, 3 months into it, they get a bill for the mortgage. It's $1,700. They didn't tell them that loan was going to go through the roof. It actually vacillates. They didn't tell them that. They just did what they could to get those people into the home so they could get the money from it. Those people end up not being able to afford those homes. And a lot of people got kicked out of their homes. And some people did go to jail. Some people who were making 6 figures, end up broke. Hey, thank you. How you doing, man? So we've seen this before. Of course, now what's supposed to happen this month is different than that. But nonetheless, the effect is the same, except it's more ubiquitous. It's not just the people who are subprime lending. It's everyone is going to pay for inflation. Everyone is going to pay the 40% markup in all products. Everyone. And some people will be okay. But you got to understand, the average person, the average individual cannot afford a 40% markup. Big Tone State. Yeah. I'll be trying. The average person cannot afford a 40% markup. So what happens? Well, for one, you have people who are homeless. That's for one. The homeless is going to go up. Do you know that there are 500,000 homeless people that are exempt from taking the MNRA, or whatever the acronym is for the jab? Yeah, there's 500,000 people that are exempt from taking the jab. Why? Why? Here's the thing. There's going to be a lot more homeless people because their mortgage is going to go through the roof. Rent is going to go through the roof. My rent is already going up $100 just last month. 2 years ago, they raised it another $100. Imagine what's going to happen if everything goes up 40% just like that. That's why it's good to live below your means, and very much so. But not everybody can do that. See, when you say live below your means, this is a luxury to live below your means. The reason why I say that is If you can live below your means, this means you have more money to spare. You have money to spare. That's what it means. I have money that I don't have to use. I have money in the bank I don't need. I make more money than I need to live. I do. My rent's $800, my light's $100, my blah, 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 blah. Altogether, I pay $1,500 in bills. But I make $3,000 a month. So half of what I make goes to bills. Everything else, I do what I want with. But I only live on $2,000. So I take the extra $1,000 and I save it. You're living below means. Not everybody can do that. That is a luxury. So what happens to the people who are just living on the edge? Who's watching every dime? What happens to those people? Because that's most of America. That's where most of the people are. Most of the people aren't living below their means on purpose. Most people don't have the means. They're shacking up with loved ones. They're living in efficiencies. They're doing the best they can. Peace. Or preach, thank you. They're doing the best they can with what they have. They don't have much. So you got that element, and then you have the crime rate that's going through the roof. The crime rate is so blatant that people are doing it broad daylight right on camera and have no fear whatsoever. They don't care. No fear. You have more entrepreneurs now than you ever had. There are people who just don't want to go to work. What happens to all this deconstruction that's going on? All this freedom of time and will and all this other stuff. What happens to these people? This is what you're up against here in America. And that's going to explode by the end of this month, if everything goes the way they're saying. That's going to come to a fever pitch. And you're right into the middle of it. And we're just talking this year. We don't even know what's going to happen at the end of the year. Because the way we're looking at this is things are getting worse. You can't tell me since the induction of COVID and since they locked everything down because of George Floyd that things have gotten better. You can't tell me since the riots that things have gotten better. Things are not getting better. Not at all. They're getting worse. Because the illusion of control is being eroded. You got the young generation, Generation X? You can't tell them nothing. Definitely. But you can't tell these kids nothing. They don't recognize authority. You can't tell these kids to sit down and be quiet. These kids go to school and slap their teachers as a challenge. I wish I would have went to school and slapped the teacher. When I was a kid, there was a teacher who sat on me, literally, because I was being bad. I used to get paddled and everything. Now they have a challenge where you go to school and you slap your teacher. You beat your teacher up. That's what you do. Let's beat up the teacher. just for likes and then brag about it on social media. That's where we're at. Hey, you know what? Let's go to school and slap the teachers and see what happens. This is a depiction of authority. This is how they look at authority. Authority means nothing to the young generation. As a matter of fact, the more authority that you try to lord over them, the more they're going to fight against it. What's going to happen to America? Who's got the answer? Because America is not trying to be the best nation in the world. Like, people think America is the best place to live in the world. Why are we the best? Remember that? You ever see that excerpt of that movie where they're saying, why is America the best place? America's not the best place in the world to live. This is not the number one country. I mean, there's so many reasons why we're not number one. I mean, obesity, education, slavery, the jail system. We have more people in jail than any other nation on the planet. And most of those people are black. In a country where the majority of people are white. The longest sentence that are handed down are to black men. 40 million black people live here. 240 million white people live here. The majority of people that are in jail are black. How are we the greatest country on the planet? We're not the greatest country. Not even close. USA needs to replant. Yeah, good luck with that. We have too many items in. We have too many idols. This is true. And speak on the black man. And do you have? And do you? Calling up. I don't understand. Do you have call-in number? No, I do not. I don't know how to set all that stuff up. I usually don't have that many people on here. But I guess one day I will set it up. If there's enough people. I usually get about 3 or 4 people. Sometimes there's one person on here. And if I really need to get it out, sometimes there's nobody on here, I'll still get it out. I don't get a lot of views. I just have a lot to say because there's a lot going on, and I'm pretty much an introvert now. I walk around this neighborhood. I hardly speak to anybody because, they don't speak to me. So I come on here and talk about whatever's going on because I'm not very social. But I talk about the things that I see and what I think is going to happen. Because, every day I wake up and listen to some type of news forum. It's either TikTok, YouTube, Yahoo News, World Star Hip Hop, CNN, something, the local news. I love information. I love, listening to different excerpts and information. Just keep doing what you do. Thank you. Yeah, I love different excerpts of information and then try to tie them together to depict what's going to happen. Now, for those of you who might be new to this channel, what I used to do is I used to talk about sports and predict who was going to win the Super Bowl and who was going to win the Stanley Cup or, stuff like that. And I would use the same form. I would go, well, this, and this equals this. That's where most of my subs came from, but I stopped doing that. Okay, I look at your videos while I deliver. Well, that's what's up. You have wisdom. Pray for the God. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much. Well, it's I like to look at something and then turn it over 3 or 4 different ways. And sometimes I can see things that are coming because it just makes good sense that the possibility and probability of it going in a certain direction is very high. And I'm like, oh, this is going to happen. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. But the majority of the time, I'm pretty much hitting it on the nail on the head, going, this is about to happen. And I like to look at things in the long run. I'm not really a short run person. When I start looking at things in the short run, I usually get it wrong. Well, not too much wrong. I don't know enough detail. The way my mind works, if I don't have enough detail, I really can't give a sound opinion or a good guesstimation. I can't really deliver a good guesstimation, so I'll say, this 1 out of 4, I'll go, oh, 4. You'll say, why 4? And I'll give some type of haphazard answer. But the truth is, I don't have enough information because I am a long run thinker. What's going to happen in the long run? What are the possibilities? And the reason why that is because I like to look at history and say, well, this happened. And if we're still under this type of government, well, the chances of this happening again are great. So that's where I get, and I throw in a lot of my experiences too. So my military experience. Once you're in the military, even though you get out, the military doesn't get out of you. It doesn't. You still walk like a soldier. And sometimes you talk like a soldier. I still salute random people. I kid you not. Every now and then I will salute somebody. The way it is. I still walk 5 in the front and 6 to the rear, which is the way your arm is swinging. 5 inches to the front, 6 inches to the back. So when you see soldiers walking like this, 5 in the front and 6 to the rear. That is the uniform way to swing your arms. I still walk like that. You do a lot of walking in the military. So I still walk 5 in the front and 6 to the rear. Straight up. That's why people around here think I'm weird. Like, I don't really care, but. So yeah. So what's going to happen to America? Well, America is going to have to brace itself for impact. The people who are going to make it are the people who have made plans. So if you're one of those people who are looking at the impending doom and you made a plan, not necessarily a bug out bag, but it wouldn't hurt to have one. But you have some type of backup something. I don't care if it's a bag of rice. How many of you have a backup food source? Think about that. How many of you have a backup water source? What are you going to do? What's your food source? How many of you have a backup plan? Oh yeah, veteran to veteran, you know it. Myra, where'd you serve? Yeah, 2 bug out bags. True. Yeah. I don't have a bug out bag, but I have a bug out bag. Meaning it's not packed, but I do got a way to. I have, you know, all my stuff. I know where it's at in the house. If I gotta, put it all in a suitcase and, wheel it down the street, I got that ready. I got a little pedal bike downstairs in the basement. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there it is. Thank you for your service. I got a little pedal bike downstairs. I get these old knees to going. I don't have a place where I would go. Uh, but I was thinking north of here. There's a lot of countryside slightly north of here. So, no problem. What I do need to do is get a flint. I do need to get a thing so I can start fire. And just, yeah, I need to be able to go out into the middle of the woods and be okay. And the middle of the woods is not a very comfortable place if you're not used to it. Why? Because we can't see at night. 2, because there are things out there that we don't know about. 3, because it's just not comfortable for the average person. Because we live in the city. There's lights everywhere. You go out in the woods and guess what? You're not at the bottom of the food chain, but you can be real quick. And everything out there, has been living out there. You can go to the military exchange now and order stuff like that. You don't have to be service connected already. I'm tired anymore. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a camo bag. I don't know if I can lug around an A and B bag anymore. I don't know if I have the wind for that. But, I can probably put a, 20-pound rucksack, load it up. I can probably hike about 2-3 miles a day with it. Because I walk all the time. So, yeah, I got some waterproof Timberlands, you know. But, yeah, what's going to happen to America? What's going to happen to you, the American? Do you have yourself ready for, any financial shock? How much money do you got at home? Is that money going to be worth anything? How much money do you got sitting at home? Don't answer, but it's a question. It's rhetorical. How much money do you have access to? If you had to bug out right now and the banks were closed, you couldn't use your ATM, none of that. All that shut down. How much money do you have? And how much money will you need to get to where you're going? Now, mind you, if the banks and everything electronic, let's just say an EMP went off, everything electronic is shut down, which means you can't get gas either. You can't get gas. Now what? See, because I have a generator, but the generator runs on gas. So once the gas in it is pretty much done, yeah, I still hit the gym. I was bench pressing the other day, 225. I think I did it 6, 7 times, 4 or 5, about 4 sets. But I can still put up 335. On a good day, I have to warm up to it, but I can put up 335. That's fine with me. I'm not trying to win an award. But yeah, you got to ask yourself, what if the streets are closed? All the electricity is off. Now what? You got a flashlight, some batteries? That's going to be number one. You need to see where you're going. Even if you're going to stay in your spot. Let's just say you stay where you're at. We don't know how long the lights are going to be off. We know you have food. Your food is going to start spoiling. Within a day, your food's going to start spoiling. Right? What are you going to do? If you're not asking yourself these questions now, when are you going to ask them? What's your plan? Do you have a backup plan? Or are you going to sit and wait till the world gets better? Because if the lights go out, if the power goes out all over America, and I'm not talking about because of some type of hurricane, I'm talking about because they knocked them all out. They knocked them out. They said, you guys don't want to get mRNA? Fine. You don't have no power. You can't get no gas. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to any hospital. The only thing that's going to be running are FEMA camps. Running off of solar generators. You think they don't have that? Fooling yourself. FEMA camps running off of solar generators. And there's going to be one within walking distance, a couple miles. That's what's going to be open. FEMA camps. You're hungry? If you can make it to the FEMA camp, that's where you're going to get your next meal. Once you run out of food. And it's not going to take long for people to eat up all their resources. All your little canned goods, they'll be gone. Whatever's in your refrigerator is perishable quickly. That's one day, and it's not even safe to eat. What are you going to do? Try to live off the animals? Good luck. An animal's an animal for a reason. Go ahead, try to cook one of these animals. Try to kill it and shoot it and eat it. It's not so easy. Yeah, but it's still okay, fine. Where get your bullets from? You gonna make bullets? Just ask. Once you run out of bullets, then what? Because you will. If they turn everything off, water, gas, electric, everything, they shut it all down, set up FEMA camps, and you can only get in if you take the mRNA. How long do you think it will take you before you get in? How long do you think it'll take you before you give in? A month? You have a month's worth of food? Hey, love you too. How long do you think it'll take you before you're making that 3-mile march downtown because you're starving? And I'm not saying casually starving. I mean, you're emaciated. your body, your body is starting to weaken and you're up against the clock. If you don't get some type of substance soon, you will be food for the roaches. They're going to find you dead and covered in roaches. And you know it. You got to make that trek. How long do you think you can last? How long do you think you can hold out? Because the military and all the people who've taken the mRNA and are still in the military, they can hold out as long as they want. They have solar power, they have MREs, they have fields where they're growing food, they have everything that they need. They can hold out for months, hell, years if they have to. They can hold out for a whole year easily and starve you out. Now, some people who grow their food, they're like, go ahead, let them try it. Here's the thing about that. Allergies or something. Here's the thing about that. As soon as they find out where you're at and that you're growing food, they're going to come to tear that place up. So people are like, I grow my own food. I'm good. Yeah, okay. Until they come knocking on your door. Well, Rena, the thing about that is, here's, okay, so in every army, there is always a group of people who do not want to do what the army is doing. They think it's inhumane, but they do it anyway. And in every army, there are deserters. People are like, I'm not doing this. In the mRNA army, the people who are on board, they are not all on board because they think that the mRNA was the best thing to do. They got pressured. Some of the people were going to lose their jobs, lose their careers. And listen, some of the military people they're making some of the hardest choices or the hardest choice they ever made. Because some of them have been in for 20 years or 18 years or 19 years, and they're like, I only got a couple months. But they're talking about taking everything from me if I don't get the mRNA. Everything. I've been in the military for 20 years. They're going to take everything from me. Look at TikTok, and some of these soldiers are talking. They're going to take everything from you and then possibly court-martial you. You just think about that. So some of the people that we think are sheeple are not sheeple. They're being coerced in the wrong way. They have a decision to make that doesn't involve just them. They have people who count on them that can't count on themselves. You're 3 and 4 years old. How kids don't start getting responsible until what, maybe 10? Till they realize the world is a terrible place. And they don't really have any responsibility worth a damn until they're what, maybe 13, 14? This is the majority. This is not cases, This is the majority of kids because that's when they go out and start looking for ways to make money. 14, 15 years old, and then 16, boom, they're working in Uh, Kroger's. Kroger's hiring 16-year-olds. I started working when I was 14. Many people feel that they are sheep because in the beginning, they literally believed in the pandemic. At first, it was about getting the measles. Yeah. They were fooled. They were trying to push. Yeah, they were fooled. They were fooled in believing one thing, and then it turned out to be a whole other thing. But now that everybody knows what it is, they're like, what do I do? I was listening to this TikTok where this mother, African American woman, uh, had a newborn. She's in the military. She's like, I don't know what to do. A lot of people are talking about this on TikTok because they're looking for advice. New soldier. She didn't know what to do. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people who are just up. Some people who are like, I'm walking off this job, I'm done. Now they have plans. Some people don't even have a plan and they're walking off the job. They're like, it's not going to happen. One guy fired everyone who did get the job. He had 100 and some odd people working for him, like 130. He went around and asked all the ones who got the job. He's like, which one of you has got the job? Because he's going to get fined $100,000 if 100 or more employees that work for him don't have it. So he said, well, let's just do the math. I can run my, like 3 or 4 restaurants. I can run my 3 or 4 restaurants with a skeleton crew. I'll do that. I'll just pay him better. So he said, anybody who's got the job, you're fired. And he fired 40 people, which brought him under 100. He has 92 people. He was like, I fired every single one of them. Told him to beat it. He's going to run his restaurant with 92 people. And he gave all of them a raise. So I'm just saying, you guys, what are you going to do? Because we knew that they were setting up FEMA camps. We knew that. We knew that 2-3 years ago. But now that the blockade is out here, well, it's not a blockade, but supplies are not coming in at the ready. They told the farmers to burn their lands. Biden is talking about knocking on your door and taking all your weapons. It's getting bad. What are you going to do when FEMA has blocked off downtown? And every day, 7 o'clock, when the sun goes down, you're worried because your electricity's off. You're scared. Now, some people live alone, especially the elderly. They really got a problem. Because a lot of times the elderly live alone and their children and grandchildren are nowhere near them. They live in other states. And they come to visit every now and then. Well, if this happens suddenly, guess who can't come to visit you? So 80-year-old grandma and 90-year-old granddad, they didn't take the shot. Even if they did, and this happens, it's a done deal. It'll take them a matter of days before they're dead. Not to mention the high crime. The people who comes barging through your door, that's already happening. Well, what are you going to do? I have to ask myself this every day. Where am I going to go? How will I survive? These old knees ain't what they used to be. I can't run. I mean that literally. Run 10 feet, my legs hurt. That hurts so bad, my knees. Very painful. But I walk every day, pretty much. I try to get in half a mile. I walk around here, circles, listening to music and listening to TikTok and the news and stuff. And getting my muscles ready in case I got to make a slow trek to Cleveland. 3 hours away. I got to get there. It's going to take me 3-4 days. It's just me. I don't have friends. My neighbors don't give a damn. It's just me. And a lot of people are in my situation where it's just them. Nobody's coming to rescue you. Now, once again, I got a bike. And I got 2 trucks. And I'll load up one of these trucks and ride that thing until the gas runs out in it. Take that bike off the back of it and load up everything I can to what I can carry. I'll pedal that thing up the goddamn highway for as much as I can. I ain't gonna pedal up no hills though. I'm gonna be walking up them bad boys. Unless I'll make it, I think. But I just don't think these times are far from us. And I think America I think we're looking at a restart. Because when you look at who is exempt from getting the shot, Congress, they don't have to get it. 8 million Asian students, 500,000 homeless, people who work for FEMA, the FDA, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and who's the other one? There's 4 of them, right? Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and I don't know who the other horseman is. There's a 4 horsemen. Those guys are exempt. So there has to be a structure here still, but it just would not surprise me if, because America is so hell-bent on freedom, in their mind, the mind of the American is, this is our land, and if you try to take it, there's going to be hell to pay. Well, the military doesn't have to come out and fight you in order to take what's yours. Even if you have yourself 2 years worth of food and all this, so on and so forth, they don't have to compete with you. They can just leave you up in your little bunker and you're eating and everything is just fine. They can wait. They can wait because you're going to come out of there at some point and they know who you are. And when you do, then they're going to deal with you. Or, sorry, my nose. Or they're going to send somebody to deal with you. And some people are fortified. They're heavily fortified. But you're not that fortified. if you haven't been taking note of what they've done to the Middle Easterners and how they were killing them, then you might want to go look at military action in the Middle East, because they didn't kill a lot of them with hand-to-hand combat. They just sent a drone. This is what they did when I was in the military 20, 30 years ago. They would send an unmanned vehicle over your head. And those people in Iraq knew that there was going to be a strike. And here's the thing. The strike that came didn't come from land. It came from sea. They were striking people on land from the sea, 4 or 5 miles out. They would fly that drone over their head, and those soldiers got used to seeing it and then dying. And so eventually, when they saw the drone, they knew the drone had a camera on it. So they would wave a white towel, to say, "We surrender." They don't have to come to your door and fight with you. They can send a drone right up over your head and blow your whole complex up. Or just hit you. I mean, like I said, look at how they were killing those people over there in the Middle East. They didn't go over to the Middle East just for the oil. They went over there to practice. They went there to practice killing people. And they sold you a lie to say that these people were terrorists. Well, if they're terrorists, then why are you letting 20,000 into the country? And by the way, those people who they're bringing over here, they don't have to be vaccinated. I thought that they were going to vaccinate them all. Nope. All of those people that they're bringing over here, they're exempt. Why would you exempt the people from the Middle East who you were just bombing and killing? Why would you do that? Those people are exempt from being vaccinated. Why? Please make that make sense. Why would you exempt 8 million Asian Americans who are over here on a visa? Chinese American. Excuse me, they're not even Chinese American. They're Chinese. They're over here on a student visa, which means they're going right back home. Why would you accept them? If this thing came from China, why would you exempt these people? Why? Everyone who is the enemy is exempt. Please make that make sense. How does that make sense? You listen, the people from the Middle East were the sworn enemies to us for how long? For 30 years, for the last 30 years. Right? Since 91, actually before that, 80, 89, somewhere around there. 90, we went to war. For the last 20 some years, they were our enemies. They were dictators and evil people doing wrong. But before that, they were all our allies. Saddam Hussein was an ally. The CIA made sure he was our ally. Gaddafi was an ally. Bin Laden was an ally. The CIA set all these men up. Unbelievable for sure. Makes no sense at all. Must be something that listen. Yeah, it's baffling. It's baffling because it's not even a plan. It's not even a plan that makes sense to the people who get up and go to work and slave to make this place a good place to live. You're talking about the vast majority of Americans are not exempt. The vast majority of Americans born and raised here are not exempt. But 8 million Chinese are exempt. Chinese students. They made it very clear. They said Chinese students. That's not a Chinese American. A Chinese American, I'd be like, okay, a Chinese American. They're American. If you're exempting other Americans. But you said somebody who comes straight from China, and this is supposedly where this came from? No. That doesn't make sense at all. If anything, those will be the first people I would hit with. You cannot come into this country unless you get the jab. What's the fourth? What is it? Pfizer, Moderna? It's going to haunt me now. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson. What's the other one? What's the other company? I don't know. It's going to mess with my mind. But anyway, you guys know what I'm saying. But all of those companies, everybody there is exempt. And nobody's taking responsibility if you do take the jab and it has an adverse effect. How this knows? Okay, so if nobody's taking responsibility, I don't know what's going on. Allergies. If nobody is taking responsibility, hold on. Jeez. I don't know what in the world is going on. Must be the dust or something. But if nobody is taking responsibility, this means nobody can get sued. The hospital, the doctor, the government, the producer of it, nobody can be responsible for it. But you're mandated to take it. What's going to happen to America? What are we going to do? What are you going to do? Do you have waterproof shoes? Do you? You have a pair of waterproof boots? Like you can stand in water. You got any of that? AstraZeneca, thank you. Yeah, AstraZeneca. You have any waterproof boots? Yeah, Congress. Yeah, everybody else does. The winter's coming. You got winter gloves? Winter coat? How far do you think you can walk in the snow? With 20 pounds on your back. Where's a safe place to sleep in a blizzard? Just in case you have to make that walk, you get trapped. A guy I knew of didn't know he was homeless. He died last year in a blizzard. Well, it wasn't a blizzard. It just got freezing. And he froze to death. I used to see him all the time. When I saw his face on Facebook, they said he died. I was like, how? They said he froze to death. Yes. Yes, I do. That's why I'm asking you guys these questions. I absolutely do. Yes, I do. That's why I'm asking you. You have a good set of walking boots. I mean, do you? How far do you think that you can walk with a duffel bag, suitcase, or whatever you think you can carry? How far do you think you can go? Maybe a block, two? How far? How far do you think you can venture out in the middle of the night to get whatever it is that you need to get? If all the stores are closed, gas stations, everything, where's your next meal coming from? Where's your next source of protein? Let's ask you. And if it's wintertime, how are you going to heat your place? Most of us don't have built-in fireplaces anymore. So it's not a casual thing to think about. I got a built-in fireplace. I can just throw some wood in there. If it's windy outside, you think, I'm just going to light up a fire. Might not be so easy to do. Some of you live in apartments. You don't have the luxury of land. You don't have your own land. You live in an apartment. What are you going to do? How are you going to heat your place? What, some candles? How long do you think that's going to last? You can throw out the electric blanket. That's not going to happen. No electricity. Let's look at what happened to Texas last year. How that water caved in some of those places. This happened because Texas froze. And they weren't ready for it. They were in their cars running the car engine to stay warm. What happens when you run out of gas? You see all those cars that were trapped on the side of the road? They even had fire engines. Fire engines and all kind of official equipment, people who fixes the roads. All of that was left on the side of the road when Texas froze. Go look at the videos. That same scenario can happen again. Hell, I don't even think it was an accident now. I think it was a test run. I really do. I think it was a test run. Let's see what will happen if Texas freezes. Boom. Look at all the chaos that ensued. Just look at it. You can't tell me that wasn't a sample. Look at what happened in Texas. Now just imagine you cut the gas off too. You can't tell me a bunch of those people wouldn't have froze to death in their car. What are you going to do? What are we talking about? What's going to happen to America? If Joe Biden lives up to his promise, what's going to happen to you? What are you going to do when the streets are closed? And my allergies are going off, so if I have to blow my nose, I'm sorry. What's going to happen when the gas is turned off, when the water's turned off, when the electricity's turned off, and it's the dead of winter? Hell, it doesn't even have to be the dead of winter. Whatever happens now. Can't go to Giant Eagle. Can't go to Winn-Dixie. No Walmart. All that's closed. You can't get in. First thing that's going to happen is there's going to be a riot. There's going to be a riot. And the only way you're going to stop that is you have the National Guard out at all the food sources, and or if you emptied all the food sources. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. People are going to rush to get food and supplies. It's the first thing they're going to do. Now let's just say you're successful. Say you go and you get food supplies and you can even light your house a little bit. You can warm it up when you got, I don't know, last you a month. Especially if you have a family. The second month comes, every place has been rioted out. If you go outside, it's highly, highly dangerous. Good chance you're not coming back. Now what? Because now the scavengers are out. And they're not out looking to bust down a Walmart door. They're looking at you. You got something that they want. Now we're back to the Stone Ages. We saw that last year too, didn't we? Saw that last year. You got archaic real quick. All the civilization we got was thrown out the window. Real quick. People lost their goddamn minds. Now imagine if Joe Biden comes through with what he's saying. And he does this on purpose. He cripples America. I was telling you people last year, I was like, what we're seeing now is a practice run. Anybody who's been into the military knows that. The military does not waste money. You think that they do. They don't. They do not move without a purpose. As a matter of fact, that's their favorite saying. Move with a purpose. If the military does something, it was planned. They do not willy-nilly it, guess heads or tails. They don't do that. They move like a fist, all at one. That's how they move. I'm telling you now. That was a practice run that we saw. And once they collected all their data, once they gathered all their data and they say, okay, the people did this, these people did this person did this. Then they got all your information from your stimulus checks. They give you that little $2,000. Then they gave you the PPP loans. Now we know who has this much money. You know why they did that? Because now we know who can fund a war. We know who has enough money to stand against us. That's an army tactic. That is a military tactic to see who has the stronghold. Where will the stronghold be? How do we know this? Because now they can look into your bank account. Legally. They were already doing it. But now they can legally look into your bank account and they can go, Missy, we know that you're a millionaire. We know that you make over $2,000 a year. We know that you're single, you're 35, and you have $5 million in the bank. Here's another thing that we know about you. You like to do things outdoors. You're an outdoors woman. You also know how to ride a horse, and you know how to shoot. Here's something else that we know about you. We know that the clubs that you hang around, all of those people know how to do the same thing. They know how to live off the land. We also know that you have a little farm. We know that you can hold up 150 people on your land for 6 months. We know this. We know you have the means. We know you have practiced this. We know who you are. If you think they don't know what you ate for dinner tonight, you're fooling yourself. They know. And I'm going to tell you how they know. Because when you went shopping, it's a good chance you went to Kroger's or Giant Eagle, Piggly Wiggly, whatever it is that you went to. You went to Walmart, you went to a major chain. And here's what you did. It's the same major chain you've been going to for the longest time. And when you checked out, you either went through the self-checkout, and if you got, but so much, you went to where they help you bag your stuff, right? And they scanned everything that you bought. Beep, beep, boop. Eggs, bacon, ham, toast, whatever it is. They scanned it all. Last time you came there, you did the same thing. And we know the last time you came there, you did the same thing 2 weeks ago. So we know that these items right here get eaten within 2 weeks. They can start guesstimating when these items get eaten. They know that by the commercials that they feed you. The commercials that you watch on TV that show up every 7.5 minutes. Yeah, they know that. They listen to what you say. Hey Siri, hey Google, hey Alexa. They know all of that. They know what you eat. They know what you bought. The majority of people aren't growing their own food. You're not growing your food. You don't have time for that. You're buying it. And that information through that scanner goes to an algorithm that goes to a main hub that tells the people at the top what to put back into the store. You think it's innocent. No, it's tracking your habits. That's what the military would do. That's how they know who's strong and who's not. They track your habits. Look at any military war. And the first thing they try to do, they try to knock out your food source. An army is only as strong as its belly. That's it. If the soldiers are hungry, look, when Napoleon tried to take over the world, he went up into Russia. You know what happened? He froze to death. That's what happened to his army. They froze to death. When the Roman Empire was at its peak, and then the Black Death came, started, killing people. You know what happened? They were starving. They were starving. They know that the army runs on its stomach. That's it, and that's all. And you are an army. As much as you think you're an individual, you are not. You can look at your neighbor and hate your neighbor all you want, but you and your neighbor are both classified the same. Hate them all you want. Your neighbor's an idiot, they think you're an idiot too. But you two idiots are both classified within a demographic and a subsection. That's how America looks at you. You can say I'm wrong all you want. But it came down between America and the American army. Well, we outnumber them, but they know everything about us. They know exactly how to hit us and how to hurt us. They know everything. I ain't going to say that we automatically lose. I'm going to say that it's a lot harder than what you think. So a lot of people are like, yeah, we the people. Yeah, we've done that before. We the people. Yeah, there's a lot of casualties on both sides. And a lot of people don't realize that they are in an army because that's how the army looks at you. This is why they call you a civilian. You have a classification. Oh, who that? Oh, it's a civilian. There is an us and there is a them. I mean, you don't believe me? Just look at listen, we are still under the Roman Empire. Look how the Roman Empire treated their civilians. When they wanted the military to turn on them, that's exactly what happened. It's the same thing. It's just a different uniform. You can stop me when I'm wrong. Go look at your history. Napoleon was a general. He was a general. He went and took over France because he had the guns. That was it. I'm the general of the army of France. You're a politician. I think I'm going to take over now. That's what happened. He took over. I'm just trying to tell you guys. That's how the military, every country looks at everything. There's civilian and then there's them. And if you have loyal soldiers, they don't care who you are. And now they're trying to say that this mRNA stuff is programmable by, I don't know how true this is, by the damn G5 towers. They say the signal can go into your bloodstream and control the mRNA and make it do, some people are like, well, it can, mess with your helix. And so I don't know. But I don't put it past anyone. Us and them. What if the military comes to your door? What if they come to your door? Mary Jane, Mary, yeah, it's time for you to go. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, you are. I'm an American. I have rights. No, you don't. No, you don't. A lot of people think they have rights. They do not. Because you are owned by the corporation. And black people don't have no rights. Ever since 1846, we have no rights. None. We have no rights. Not here in America. And for you other people who are, white and other, as long as you're living on American soil, your rights are according to what the Corporation of America says. So they can come and bust down your door and take you off to wherever they want to take you. There's us and them. Now, some of you may think that I'm wrong. And for those of you who think that I'm wrong, because I hope I am. I'm not saying this because I have nothing to do. I'm saying this because there's a purpose behind everything I say. I'm not trying to scare you. Well, I'm not trying to scare you is like for me. I'm trying to scare you into reacting. I'm trying to warn you. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope to everything that I'm wrong. I hope what Joe Biden is saying doesn't come true. But if I'm right, how far you think you can walk in a pair of boots? Because your tennis shoes aren't going to help you if there's snow on the ground. Let's just start right there. How much do you exercise? And I don't mean go to the gym and run on the treadmill. I mean, how often do you get out here and walk on the grass? And I don't mean manicured grass. I mean just grass. In the weeds, grass. High grass, low grass. How often do you do that? When's the last time you chased something down and killed it? I can't remember the last time I did that. When's the last time you tracked something down and actually killed it yourself? I used to do that when I was a kid. I used to hunt rabbits and squirrels and pigeons. When's the last time, and we hunted them with bow and arrow. When's the last time any of you did that? Track down a deer. You know what happens when you hit a deer with a bow and arrow? It runs. It runs. And if that's your dinner, well, you don't have to run after it. Because something else out there is going to eat it. Just saying. If it all goes to pot, nobody's coming to help you. That should be your mindset. Until you know different. You are your own first responder. Sorry, my nose is running. I don't know why. Well, allergies or something. You are your own first responder. You. How many of you know how to dress a wound? How much alcohol do you have? Rubbing alcohol. How much of it do you have? How much aspirin do you have? Regular aspirin. You got any mercurochrome or methylate? You don't even know what that is, do you? You ain't got no mercurochrome, methylate? I got mercurochrome? I ain't got no mercurochrome. I don't need it. But it's a good thing to have. Come in a little bottle like that. Stings. Whenever you scratch your knee or anything, but I tell you what, it'll disinfect in a heartbeat. Because an infection will kill you. Kill you quick. Real quick. Especially if it gets sepsis. It's lights out. That blood gets infected. And it's not too long before you're out of here. Most of us don't carry antibiotics. Most of us ain't got no antibiotics laying around. just saying these things are important. See, the modern world has convinced you that things will stay the same. But the problem with the modern world is it's too modern. You are a product of your own environment. You can go to the store right now and buy something and fill your belly. No big deal. But in a not so modern world, you can't do that. You have to make a plan according to whenever your food source is going to be within a certain range. You can't just go willy-nilly and decide to. No, you got to wait until you know it's good. You have to track your food. If you're hunting whitetail, you got to know where they're going to be at. They don't always stay in the same place. You got to prepare for that. If you're hunting duck, you got to know when those ducks are going to be around. Then you got to know how to cook them. I mean, if you're fishing, that's a little easier. But still, takes a little practice. Crabbing, things along that line. All depends on what part of the world you're from. Sometimes what you're looking for isn't far at all, especially if you're looking for eels or snakes and things along that line. Crocodiles, I mean, you know where they're at. You just kill it and eat it. And there's plenty of them. I'm just saying, we're very modern. And a lot of us are going to die because of it. If this thing goes bad. We're not used to going out and getting our own food. We're not used to fighting the food. Because sometimes, you can be on the other end of that. You go out and try to kill one of these, 12 feet crocodiles. Not going to be that easy. Nonetheless, if you can, that's some good eating for a while. I've never had it, but people eat crocodiles. And there's a lot of them. But like I said, the modern world is a little too modern. And I mean, I even started looking for a bow and arrow recently. Like, am I going to have to buy me a $140 bow and arrow set? Am I going to have to do that? You know what I'm saying? Get me some OD green. Go out here with a hunter's license and start picking off. Because I'll do it. You don't want to be forced to do it, but yeah, some people won't know what to do because most people only know what the system has given us and don't know how to live off the land. Yeah, see, you got some people who have already swung into high gear. You got people who are like, let it happen. Let's go. Let's see what I'm made of. And then you have people who have done absolutely nothing. And then you have people who's kind of in the middle like me. Like, okay, the lights just went out. Boom. Let me see if my phone works. Phone still works. Boom. Let me see if the gas stations are open. Gas stations are open. Boom. Let me go fill up both of my trucks. I have a storage unit. I have a gas tank down at the storage unit. Boom, let me go make sure that's full. I got my generator down here. I have a gas generator that it can crank out, 3,400. You know what I'm saying? I can run 1, 2, 3 refrigerators and a light source off of that easy for 8 hours. So that sets me up until when? The morning? Got to do it all again. You know what I'm saying? That keeps my food going. That that puts me above most people around here that don't have a generator. But what if the gas is gone? They're not, you can't get any gas. Well, then boom, that knocks me down to pay. Then if they cut off the water, now what? So you got some people who are driving miles to get spring water. They know where a well is. I wish I knew where a well was around here because I would be there in a heartbeat. I love well water. It tastes so good. But I don't know where there's a well around here. So that's the first thing I need to find out. Where is the well at? Because I'm sure there's going to be a long line to get to that thing. But you can take that water and store it. You get yourself a 5-gallon tank. You can just store it down in your basement. It's not going anywhere. I mean, a lot of people are going out and buying bottled water. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you got 24, things of these, so you got, I don't know, say you got 48 bottles of this. How long is this going to last you? A single person, it might last you maybe a week. Somebody with a family, 2 days. 2-3 days is gone. Single person might be able to stretch it out 7-8 days. The water's completely gone, which means you have to use this for everything. See, it's not like the water's still running coming out of the spigot. No, it's nothing but air. So you have to use this for everything. Bathing, cleaning, a couple days, gone. It's gone. It's out, complete. You see what I mean? If you're still casual about this whole thing, once again, look at what happened to Texas. Well, their apartments were caving in. Look at what happens to China when they have those tsunamis. And everything is underwater. Whole buildings knocked down. I mean, I'm just saying, you are the first responder. And if you guys don't start taking these threats seriously, and at least, I've been telling people for almost 2 years now, get a generator. Just do that. Because even if the gas station's still open, you can at least stay warm. You can run the hell out of that generator and just nail that damn thing down somewhere. Make sure that the exhaust is going outside. Put it into a basement or even put it into your garage. Fire that joker up. Get yourself some gas going on. And that thing will heat your whole house. That generator, you connect that generator to the right source, I'm telling you, that thing will heat your whole damn house. You ain't got to worry about hypothermia or nothing. As long as that generator's running, you're good. And you take care of it too. Keep the oil in it, change the oil, change the filters, everything. It's your MVP. And you run that joker. Put a couple space heaters up to it or whatever, and you run it. And during the day, if it's warmer, you cut it off. Get yourself if you have a refrigerator, take your food that's perishable and put it into what's that when you're going out to the ball game and you want to pack your stuff, your drinks and stuff, all that. You know what I'm talking about. You get yourself a large one of those. They don't cost much. You treat it just like an ice box. You just fill it with ice. You make sure that your refrigerator made ice, make some ice cubes, and you keep filling it up until you have enough ice in there. And then when you don't need it anymore, you turn that damn generator off. Boom. Except if it's freezing cold and the generator is outside, because if the temperature is too low and you cut it off, it might not come back on. You just use the element. If it's freezing cold outside, boom. Instead of having your refrigerator running the whole time, boom. Put stuff in the garage. You know the temperature is going to be below 32. Or it's going to be, shoot, it might be 46. That's what your refrigerator is now. Your freezer is either 0 down to -6 or 8, or it's 46 to 35 in your refrigerator. I don't care what side is the freezer, what side is the fridge, however it goes, that's what the temperature are. That's what the temperatures are in your refrigerator. And I know because I got like 9 of them. Because that's what I do. I sell refrigerators. So that's what you want your food to be sitting at. You want your food to be sitting at least 46 to 35. And if you need to freeze it, it should be at least either 1 or 0, but best to me is -1. And if you have ice cream, you want it to sit at about -2 or 3. Ice cream freeze is different than anything else. And if it's cold outside, you can use the elements for that. Hell, you can use flower pots for that. You can take a flower pot. I got one downstairs somewhere. Okay, so you can take a regular clay flower pot and then take one size less than that, put it inside of it, then take sand and fill up the gap between the two, and put sand all the way around it, and then put whatever it is that you want to keep refrigerated inside of it. And for some reason, that sand will, and you got to water it too. You got to water it. And that sand will cool the inside of that flower pot. It makes it an instant refrigerator. I don't know why it does it, but I know that it does. It's a natural refrigerator. Another thing is making light, like making a light source, making an electrical source. It's not as hard as you think. You know, I don't know how to do it per se, but I've seen people make small light sources, and I've seen people get currents off of fruit. I've seen people charge their phone off of a watermelon. What they did was they took a bowl and they put, I think, salt water in it, and they put ice in it, and they sat the melon inside of it, you know, a part of the melon, and for some reason, their reaction causes the melon to have an electrical charge. And they just plug their doggone charger right into, well, they did the same thing like a regular plug and plugged it into the melon, and their phone was charging. So there are little handy tricks that can help you keep going. Now, some people were speaking on two-way radios. And some people are like, this is not a good idea. Your two-way radio is not going to go that far. I don't know much about the radio systems. I really don't. So I can't really help you with that. But what I can say is it wouldn't hurt to know about that. This way you can know what's going on in what end of the world, wherever end of the world that you live in. Some of you people don't live near a city. That's good and bad. Because I'm going to tell you now, if this thing goes south, the city is where they're going to set up. Why? Because most of the people are going to be coming in according to the grid and the way everything is made up. It just makes natural sense. If you want all these people to come to you, you're going to put them in a place where they can, you know, pretty much make it easier. They're going to use the lanes of the streets. And if you know anything, you know that a city is made up on a grid, and they'll block the city off and set up a camp there and say, boom, everybody, this is where we're at if you need our help. Some of you don't live near a city. So if your transportation is out, just say you run out of gas, you have to consider, if I do need help, how far do I have to go to get help? So for me, the city is 5 miles one way from here. It is exactly 5 miles from here one way. There's not a lot of hills. It's just pretty much flat. It's 5 miles west of here. That's the closest city as far as major city. Now the next closest city is a 45-minute drive from here. That would be Dayton, Ohio. The 45-minute drive. So maybe a day and a half walk. You get where I'm going here. If I had to go for help, these are the things I have to consider, because you're your own first responder. Remember that. Don't expect somebody, if anything, to come out of the blue and try to take something that's yours. So you got to think, if there's help out there, how can I get to it? And where is it? Where is it is the first question. The next city that's close to here, to me, in driving distance, is an hour and a half. So you got 45 minutes one way driving, an hour and a half the next way. That's Cincinnati, Ohio. The next closest city is going to be, it's a toss-up between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. I think Pittsburgh is a little closer. Here's a problem with Pittsburgh. A lot of hills. A lot. So if I had to make a 2.5-hour trek to Pittsburgh, I know that I got to conquer some big hills. And I mean big. Big hills. But if I'm going to go to Cleveland, I know the majority of it's flat. Plus, Pittsburgh is east of here. So if I'm going east and it's the winter time, that means that it's going to be 10 degrees colder when I get to Pittsburgh. It's always 10 degrees colder in Pittsburgh than it is here where I'm at. Always. So I would have to know this. I would have to know that it's possible that I can go and walk right into a snowstorm. Highly possible. And or I could walk just into a lot of wind, because Pittsburgh has the 3 rivers running through it. The Ohio, the Monongahela, and there's another one. I forgot the name of it. One of you guys can look it up. So, you know, if you have a lot of water, you have wind. So I'm just saying, these little things, you know, I've been thinking about. Could I walk from here to Cleveland? Sure. Would it be an easier walk to go from here to Cleveland or from here to Pittsburgh? It'd be easier to go to Cleveland. Just things I'm thinking about. If I can't bike it, if I can't drive there, that means I have to walk there. Right up the highway. How about you? Where's your closest city? Then you got to think of where your closest 5 cities are. How far are they away from you? Is it possible for you to get there? We're not even going to talk about the people element. We're just going to talk about the distance itself. Do you think that you can make it there? Because if the answer is no, then you're going to have to really be reliable on whatever it is that, whatever your skills are. Your skills are going to have to be top notch if you cannot get to somewhere else or someone else. Do I think I can walk from here to Cleveland? Probably. In the middle of the winter? I don't know. I don't know. It'd be a lot of stopping though. A lot. Like I'm not, hell, I'm not in my 30s anymore, so I would be stopping a lot. But it's just, like I said, these are the things you got to think about if it is a cold winter. For a president to say that it's not a casual thing. Stop thinking because everything is open today that it won't be closed tomorrow. Don't fool yourself. Look at what's happening in Australia. Just take a gander at look at what's happening in Australia and the Queensland. Look at how they doing those people over there. Anyways, I'm tired. I'm gonna go ahead and go. You guys got any questions for me? You can ask me now. I'll try to field them for you. Other than that, anybody got any questions for me before I get out of here? I've been talking for 2 hours. I think I'm gonna go buy some more water tomorrow. I think I'm gonna buy water in one of them big jugs. I think I'm gonna buy me one of those. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Put it downstairs in my basement. I just want one. I just want one. And another gallon for another 5-gallon gas tank. I got one, but I wouldn't mind having another one just sitting around, but not have gas in it just yet because of gas sits and it changes constantly. So sometimes if it sits too long, you might not want it. That's why when you store an electrical, or a motor and it just sits there, the gas inside of it is constantly changing. And sometimes you have to drain all the gas out of it before you can use it again. So if you have yourself a generator and you great topics. Hey Star, what's going on? Thank you, my brother. Peace be with you. Peace be with you too. I didn't even know you were here. But yeah, so if you have a generator, and it's a gas generator, just and you're storing it, just be careful not to have gas in it while you're storing it. Take all the gas and the oil out and then store it until you're ready to use it. Also, solar generators are out there. So for some of you who have, I don't know if you have $1,000, you're much welcome. If you got $1,000 in your pocket, listen, if you and your family got $1,000 sitting around, you will not be disappointed to buy a solar generator. I can't see where you would be disappointed because you could use it now. If you're going to get one that's going to power your crib, or at least a space heater and something to keep your food cold, or some blankets or something like that, something so you won't get frostbitten in case it all shuts down. You can run that generator. If you're looking for something like that big, $3,000. Solar generator is $3,000 for something that big, which is the same size as my generator, which means it puts out the same amount of power. But you have to lay those solar panels out all day. They're slow chargers. Oh my goodness, they're worth it, but they're slow chargers. So this is not something that you can run 24/7. You just can't turn it on and it's no. That's not how solar generators work. But about $3,000 if you're looking for one that's going to power your stuff for 6-7 hours. So basically through the night, keep your kids warm Man, keep your kids warm. You and the wife might have to tough it out for a while, but if you all huddle in one room, plug in a nice space heater, thing will heat it right up. It's better than freezing. So about $3,000 for one of those. If you're gonna get an electric generator, you'd be looking at $600-700. That's for kind of like the same size I got. If you're gonna get a gas generator, you can get one in between. Well, hell, you can get one used for $100. You can get one new though for, let's see, mine cost me around $450. So that's 4,000 watts. That's 3,400 running watts though. So I mean, just think about that. Like, look at what you need in your house. Like, you don't need all these lights to run in your house. Just look at what you need in your house and go, I think I need a generator. I'm gonna get a gas generator. You got $500 on you, it'll be well spent. You can buy, and if you got about 640 on you, you can get a generator. I have a Ryobi generator, but you can get a nice generator, $640, and it'll also run your stove with a stove outlet. It'll have 3 outlets, 3 regular outlets that are 120. It'll have a stove outlet that's 220 or 240, and it'll have an RC outlet so you can plug it into your camper. That's about $640. Worth it. Another thing about that is it runs for 15 hours. Mine only runs for 8 hours. Once you go up a couple $100, you get a lot of amenities that if you have a big family, like I said, it's just me. But if you have a big family, you got to have, 5-6 people huddled up in one room. So, you're going to be sucking out some power, all night in that thing. Plus, you might have a hot plate hooked up to it. How many of you have hot plates? How many of you have, here's something I don't have. You can get it from the Army Navy store, a Bunsen burner. Yeah, look that. Yeah, a Bunsen burner so you can cook. But yeah, a hot plate, because you might not be able to use your stove because the gas might be cut off. So if you just have a hot plate, you just need an electrical source, boom, you got that. Also, some people have, I'm back, you got some seeds. There it is. That's what's up. Good night, Star. Yeah, a hot plate. Some people who live in the southern regions are cooking with solar. So there's also an option for you. So if you know how to cook with, you know how to hook up a solar, like a big old thing that can catch solar, and then you put your stuff in the middle, and it focuses all the energy on the pan. And you can cook with it. There's that too. So I mean, there's just a couple options to make life a little bit more comfortable. Yeah. So I did, but like I said, so do you guys have any questions for me? Because yeah, I do think it's going to be a cold winter. So I'm stocking up for it. Do you guys have canned goods? What's your canned goods situation looking like? What you got? You guys got some canned goods? You got tuna? Canned chicken? Huh? I bet you guys got stuff like beans, corn, stuff like that. String beans. Got any chicken? Got some sardines? Yeah, that protein. Just go out. Look, do me a favor. Go out tomorrow. If you stop by the store, get yourself 4 cans of tuna and just put them somewhere. Just put them. Just get 4, and I don't mean the little cans. Get 4 jumbo cans of tuna. And if whoever's in your family asks you why you got them, just say, just because, and don't eat them. That's what you tell them. Do not eat them. Yeah, gunpowder, that's another thing. Yeah, tell them don't eat them. And every time you go to the store, you pick up 4 cans of tuna. So if you go to the store 3 times in a week, you pick up 1, 2, 3, 9 cans of tuna. All the way up until you have, let's say, do that for 3 weeks. It'll be like, why are you storing all this tuna? Just leave it. Trust me, you won't be sorry. Even if none of this goes bad, you have your tuna stash. Because if it does go bad, we got enough tuna to last us for at least a month. And that's your traveling food. That's your food whenever you have to trek it. You can't drive, you can't bike. Well, you might be able to bike it. You might be able to pedal bike it. But you need to huff it somewhere. You need to go over to somebody's house and they live 2 miles away. So you're going to trek it. You got canned tuna. That tuna is going to get you there. It's got enough protein to power you there and back if you're smart and you know what route to take and when to take it. Because if you're going against the wind, you're using more energy. If you're going uphill, you're using more energy. Just be smart about that. But you got yourself a canned tuna, boom. I'm going out to get us, some whatever. It's a military way of thinking, but trust me, it works. It works. When we was in the military, when we got up to get breakfast, it was 3:30 in the morning, and we were eating breakfast. We were back in formation before 4 o'clock. And we're not talking about a squad. We're talking about a company. There are at least 12 people to a squad. There are 4. So 12 times 4, 48. That's to a, okay, so, and then there's that times 3. So that made up your company, somewhere around there, somewhere around those numbers. So maybe 150, maybe a little less, including your 2 drill sergeants and your captain. So around 150 people. And that mess hall would feed the battalion. So if you're looking at a battalion, you'd be looking at A, B, C company. Then you would be looking at the girls' company. They had an A, B, C company. And then there was more soldiers. So I'm not even sure how many numbers go to a battalion, but there's a lot. Nonetheless, the reason why they were able to feed us so quickly is because when we went in there to eat, we would go in there, they would throw our eggs and whatever on it. We get it, we get our drink, we'd sit down. We got about maybe 6, 7 minutes to eat as much as we could. And I still eat like that. I eat like I'm in prison. I still eat like that. B company, time to go. Boom, we're out. Back in formation. Put back on your rucksack, your helmet, your M16A2 on your shoulder, move out. It's time to walk to the range. They would put you in a cattle truck and then drop you off at a designated area, and then you would walk like 6, 7 miles. And you would be done with all of this before 9 o'clock in the morning. Whenever you hear we do more before 9 o'clock than most people do all day, that was not a lie. That is the very truth. That's the very, 9 o'clock we were resting. Kid you not. 9 o'clock a.m. So that's what I'm saying. You don't need a lot of food in order for you to walk a good distance. You don't, especially if you train your body to do it now. You need a lot of food when, if you're powering through something. So let's just say that you're hauling something or you're pulling something. You're gonna need a lot of food then. If you're pulling on something and it has a lot of resistance, then you would. But for just you yourself to walk from one place to another, you can cover 10, 20 miles on a little bit of food. And a lot of that food has to be high in protein, and that's what they did. They fed us stuff that was high in protein. So I'm not just telling you this just to be telling it to you. I'm telling this to you because you are a part of the army of us. And in order for you to survive, you're going to need some protein. So go to the store and buy yourself some protein that you know that's going to last. Something that nobody's going to touch. And just put it away. And if push comes to shove, you'll be able to travel without being on an empty stomach. Now, once again, does anybody have any questions for me? You got any questions for me, Miss Alicia? Some people say to get anything you can trade, such as tobacco or liquor. Well, tobacco and liquor is something that they traded back during the Civil War days. That's why people say that. Now, you would think the liquor would be the drink. Not always so. The liquor was actually for medicinal purposes. It's for your wounds, so you don't get an infection, and so you can drink it and numb the pain while they're stitching you up. So yeah, tobacco and liquor, definitely something that people will take and trade. Not myself, I take the liquor. I don't drink, but I definitely would use the alcohol if I had a open wound. Because if you don't, open wounds are one of the most scariest things ever. I don't care if it's just, you were walking in the woods and a tree just happened to, nick you somewhere and it opened that up and it started bleeding. Buddy, let me tell you, if you don't get something on that soon, it is going to fester. And then here come the bugs. And then once they get to you, you're going to have to get rid of that arm. I kid you not, it just doesn't take much for your blood to get infected. So alcohol is a huge, huge deal during wartime. Huge deal. I mean, it is a life-saving element. It's just, yeah, so people traded it a lot. And like I said, it helps numb the pain also. So people would, before you would cut their arm off. Because when they cut your arm off back then, they used a hacksaw. So they would just saw off your arm or saw off your leg. Just saw right through your femur while you're sitting there screaming, but they would hit you with the alcohol or alcohol on your wound. You'd sit there and put something in your mouth so you can bite down on it. And then they'd get rid of that leg, but they'd save your life. It hurt like hell, but you live. They pour some more alcohol on those wounds and wrap that joint up, and it wouldn't get infected. Stop the bleed. Boom, there you go. So yeah, alcohol is very important. Tobacco is usually just used to, people smoke it. It's more leisure, to get your mind off of stuff. So it wouldn't be as big today as it was 100 or so years ago, but people would still use it. But more alcohol than anything is what I'm trying to tell you. Gunpowder is interesting to have because you can also clean a wound with gunpowder. I don't know if you knew that or not, but if your wound is open enough, and let's just say you caught a bullet to the leg, and the bullet went in and out. So let's say it grazed you, right? It grazed your leg, but it hit enough of your leg to cause you to bleed, right? So you would take the surface of the wound and put gunpowder in it and then light it. You wouldn't light it to blow your leg up. You just want it to go because what it do is cauterize your wound. Yeah, what it would do was cauterize your wound. So it would burn your nerves and your blood vessels. And other things people would use, like they would take something that's iron or metal, and then they would put fire up under it, make sure it's red hot, and then that takes out any infection. It hurt like hell. It's like branding you, but it would knock out anything trying to infect it, and then you get right up. Like I said, you'd be in a lot of pain, but you live. So yeah, people use gunpowder for that too. Yeah. You just burn right through a wound. It's old, it's archaic, and a lot of people don't know what they're doing, but you can just take just a little bit of gunpowder and fry those nerves. They'll close it right up. So, yeah. Just different stuff. What else did they tell you to get, Miss Alicia? Here's a lot you can get. Sorry. Like I said, you can go to the store now and get some mercurochrome and methylate. Put that in your bug out bag. Alcohol, same principle. Also, peroxide. Not like a bottle of peroxide because it doesn't burn. Walkie-talkie radio. Yeah, we covered that. Not all walkie-talkie radios, your two-way radios, are gonna work the way you want them to, but you would need your phone, if the towers were knocked out, but if the regular phone service wasn't working, you could still use your phone as a two-way radio. Yeah, there's a way to program your phone to do that. One of you guys can look that up. But there's a way to program your phone to act as a two-way radio. Yeah. Also, here's something you guys might not know. I have a Straight Talk. I go through Straight Talk. Now, Straight Talk, when they first came out, it was called a track phone. The reason why it was called a track phone is because the towers that it was bouncing off of were ran along the train tracks. So if you're traveling down the train tracks, and you would look, you would see these towers where everything's pinging off. This is one reason why Verizon was had the greatest service, because what they did was their towers were the same as the track phone towers. Now, I used to travel for business, so I had other phone services where I would travel and I would get in spots where I couldn't make a phone call. But one time I was stuck on the side of the road and couldn't make a phone call. I was like, damn it, I have no bars, I can't make a phone call. I got out of there, obviously, but nonetheless, it scared the hell out of me. So I was like, I need a phone service that goes wherever I can go. And that's when, I started using Walmart phones. And I still do today, still use Track Phone, which is now called Straight Talk. It's the same service. So, just a little heads up. If you guys, I don't know who you're pinging off of, who you have, but the best services are the ones that run along the train tracks. So if you got Boost Mobile and stuff like that, I don't know where those towers are, but coming from experience, Straight Talk and Verizon has the best service because they use the tracks, the train tracks. So it's a little something for you. Anything else, Miss Alicia? You got anything else for me? What's in your bug out bag? I got a better question. For you. How much do you think it costs to make your bug out bag? What do you think your total cost is? Just a guesstimation. Just a guesstimation. And if you don't have one, what do you think your total cost would be? This is for a bug out bag for, let's say you're going to travel from one city to another on foot. So this is not going down the street and coming back. This is a serious bag. And you're going to have to cross some miles. You might have to cross some shallow water. Hell, you might have to cross into Mexico. My church has our own. I have not ordered mine yet. Okay. All right. How much do you think the bug out bag costs? What do you think the cost is for everything that's in a bug out bag? What do you think your cost is? Total cost. This is food. This is medicinal, toiletries. What do you think the cost is for a good bug out bag? Your medicines. Forget you have to have acetylsalic acid in it, which is aspirin. $250. So let's run through it. Let's run through what's in your bag. All right? Let's run through it. Self-growth, okay, 400. Alicia, let's go through it. Let's go ahead and take a stab at it. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a list I'm going to pull up a list and read what they say. Yep, items for bug out bag. Two-person emergency kit, 72-hour backpack, Okay, we'll take a, you know what? Let's do a 2-person emergency kit. You guys with me? Sorry, my nose. Let's see what we got. We'll do a 2-person emergency kit. Now this is interesting. Molly, okay, these are life tools. This is interesting. A 2-person emergency kit, backpack by Stealth Angel Survival. Okay, so they have this listed. It was listed at $299. Now it's listed at $149. And it has items already in it. So let me look at some of these items that they have. Okay, so they have the emergency drinking water. They have a poncho. They have, I don't even know what some of this stuff is. They have the knife. They have an entrenching tool. An entrenching tool is like a shovel. They have, it's not a bad looking bag. They have gloves. They have an emergency shelter. So they have a tent. Now this is all for $149. They have your goggles, your bandages, a glow stick, your a glow stick. They have your shaving. So they have your toiletries. So your shaving stuff. I don't know what this other stuff is. Let me see if I can pull it up. So this is for $149. And there's different bags that they have. I'm trying to pull this picture up. So okay, so $250 was not a terrible guess. But that's with these people packing a bug out bag. It's not terrible looking either. These looks like Rice Krispie treats or something. I don't know what what it is. But there's some other stuff in it. But okay, so let me see if it reads what's in it. All the essential items, package security, popular Stealth Angel. Okay, hold on a second. Essentials, emergency items, security, and popular stealth, survival backpack, each emergency kit, hand assembly by the U.S. Organized in a high-quality backpack that after the disaster, you may unfortunately be in a situation where you and your loved ones need to survive on your own for several days. So this is only for a couple days. Being prepared means having food, water, and it'll last you 72 hours. So it includes, I can't read your messages right now if you're writing anything. The food and water in this kit are meant to provide nutrition for 2 people for 72 hours until help arrives. These products, okay, so there's a big thing right there, until help arrives. So once again, I'm thinking that you might have to travel because if we're looking at what Joe is saying, help might not come for us. We might have to go to the help. So there's that. So somebody has to carry this. Now, the products have a 5-year shelf life. So once you have it, you're good. It has it has 12 4-ounce water pouches, 12 400-calorie food bars, 4,800 calories, okay. 20 water purification tablets. Each tablet purify 1 liter of water. Okay. Light and communication. It has a survival Q5 flashlight, a keychain flashlight, a dynamo 4-in-1 radio flashlight charger. It has a 12-hour emergency bright stick and several whistles. Okay, shelter and warmth, 2 emergency body warmers. I like it. 2 emergency blankets, 2 emergency ponchos with hood. I like it. Emergency tube with rope. Has a tube tip. Okay. Tools, Stealth Angel 8-in-1 everyday kit consists of Q5 flashlight, a Stealth Angel pen, 11-in-1 pocket card multi-tool, a compass, I don't even know how to say this word, I don't know what that is, a rod, a fire starter, a pair of durable work gloves, a paracord bracelet. Know what that does? I need to know what this word is. Ferrosorium. Ferrosorium. Okay, hygiene. Hygiene kit is a toothbrush, 2 of them, toothpaste, soap, facial tissues, moist towelette, safety goggles. Got it. First aid kit. Items can consist with a minor injuries and protect against serious health concerns in disaster circumstances. Okay. So emergency survival kit, yada yada yada. So that's what comes in it, and it's for $150. $150, you guys. That's what you get. That's what you get. Trying to get back to you guys here. Where are you guys at? There you go. So $150. You too. Oh, I sneezed. Yeah. So for $150, that's where you're starting for a good bug out bag. And this is a prepared bug out bag you can just buy. Not a bad price. Not a bad price. I choose the Boogie brand bag, female survival, not mad at all. Anything that's made to contour for your body, it makes you comfortable. You know, not mad about that. Especially if you're somebody, if you have, if you're looking for something that's more compact, if you're not somebody who's a big person, so you don't need a big bulky bag. Because the thing about a 2-person bag is it's going to be about it's going to hang down about, So if you're not a big person, it's going to mess up your gait when you're walking. You know what I mean? It's not going to be sitting up here. It's going to, be down towards your lower spine. So it could mess up your gait while you're walking. And that's just not comfortable. You want it to be your shoulders to take the majority of that and it to just rest on your back so you can, walk comfortably. So $150. Now, I'm sure that once you add on whatever foods that you're going to add on to there, once you add on your weapon, let's just say you have a 9, a 45, a 38. You know, you can calculate for that cost, plus your 2 magazines, or you know what I'm saying? Plus, like I said, plus your two magazines. You might have an extra weapon. You might have a bow and arrow set. You know, so I mean that price can get up there real quick into $1,000 for the whole complete. I'm ready to go out and tackle this thing. But like I said, that bug out bag was for matches. Yeah. Matches and a flint and, you know, just other stuff that's just not included in here. Candles. It had one glow stick. Plus, that bag was calculating for 2 days. If you got to make a 2-day trek, okay, that's fine. I can see that. If you got to walk 20 miles there and back, that's a 2-day trek. You know, you could do it in 1 day, but, you know, still, that's a 2-day trek. That bug out bag will set you straight. You know, you want to add in some, you know, well, it has protein bars and stuff in there, so it's got a lot of things covered. The only thing it doesn't have covered is a weapon. So that's it. So, I mean, it has like pocket knives, but the majority of people that you'll run into probably aren't going to be armed. You know, but just in case they are, you know, if you are, it would help. You had yourself a nice little, even a 22 would get somebody off of you, especially if you're a woman. You're a woman, especially because anyone, male and female, will look at you easier as an easier target. And they're not always after what's between your legs. They're just, you're a woman, so you're not as tough to take down, or so it would seem. But you gotta understand, you can't look at an opponent and go, they don't think because I'm a woman I'm weaker. Yes, they do. Like, they're not gonna try me because, you know, I'm a female. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Don't assume that, oh, because I'm a woman, they're not gonna do, no. You assume the worst, or you're gonna end up, you know, floating down river. Face down. You assume the worst. And you make sure you're on guard quickly when you run into somebody in a situation like this. You do not take a chance. You make it very clear. You know, you come over here, I'm letting them fly. That's just that. Trust no one. No one. So, yeah. I don't care who you think you are. You trust me, ladies, on that. Long navigation maps and compasses, definitely. Self-growth, I have a machete. That's what that says. Yeah. Yeah, self-growth. Really? Are you in the military, Aisha? I've been calling you Alicia. Are you a military person? Or you're just an outdoors woman? Or what? You live in, I mean, what? What's going on here? Why do you have a machete? I ain't mad. I just wonder why. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. So, yeah. Yeah, you was Army. Okay, there it is. That explains it. That explains it. Okay, so you was Army, so that means you went through the gas chamber. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That means you went to the range and you shot your M15, your M16. I don't know if it's an A2 version you guys have now, a 7.5 pounder. Let's just say, yeah, yeah, yeah. You went to the gas chamber. What's that mean? You were what? Self growth? ODM? I don't know what that is. And I don't know what you said about kingdom, whatever that is. I don't know what the last word is. But yeah, so military personnel. Okay, I got you, Aisha. I see you. But yeah, so you guys, if you got yourself $150, grab a bug out bag, offline. If you don't have $150, look on look on YouTube and see what people are buying, and start getting those items and set them to the side. Oh, you was a chemical soldier. Oh, the gas tank. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Stay ready. You won't have to get ready. Yeah, there it is. So what I'm saying is, for those of you who don't want to spend $150, or you don't have $150, there's a good chance you have a lot of these items already. Now you probably don't have an entrenching tool, but basically it's so you can dig a hole. That's really what it is. And that is important just in case you have to bury if you have to go to the bathroom, you want to bury it. You do not just want to take a crap in the woods and let that be the reason. And if you don't know why, then you need to let's educate you real quick, because animals are tracking you. And that's how they track other animals. And you might have somebody tracking you. So you want to bury it. Also, if you have to sleep in the woods, or let's just say you have to sleep in a grassy area that's kind of not in the woods, it's kind of a plain, flat area. It doesn't even have to be grass. Let's just say it's dirt. And it's just one plain, flat area. What you want to do is you want to dig yourself a hole that's up to your shoulders. It's going to take you some hours, but you want to dig yourself a foxhole is what you're doing. You want to make it square. And you want to take, and the reason why you're doing this, for one, to hide yourself, and for two, to block the wind from, because that hole, if you're in that hole, that wind is going to. So if it's 10 degrees wind chill factor of whatever, you can stop yourself from freezing to death by digging yourself a hole and getting down in the hole, getting in that blanket, and that wind to go right up over your head. Yeah. Yeah, that wind chill factor is in New Jersey when we did our bivouac. And that's also when we did the gas chamber. That bivouac was something else. We were freezing. We were freezing. We got saved by a guy who was in a tent with the sergeants. They had a potbelly stove. I mean, we were freezing. So yeah, that wind chill factor is no joke. So if you guys get caught out there during the day, just give yourself. You see that sun going down, you already know it's 20 degrees or something like that, and the wind chill factor is coming. And once that sun goes down, it's gonna drop 20 degrees on your ass. Don't play around. Start digging. About time it hits 8 o'clock, You already have your whole set. You'll have your dirt mound. So when the wind is coming from whatever side, you can set it up to where it just goes right over your head. You'll feel a huge difference when you stick your head up out of that hole. You'll be like, oh hell no, I'm staying down here. And just make yourself a nice little hole, pat it out. Get in your sleeping bag and cover all the way up so the bugs don't get you, and you'll be fine. Some of you might have a tent. So if you have a tent, you're gonna have to. If you have a tent, you're gonna have to stabilize that tent. So sometimes just your little sticky things in the ground might not help. Sometimes you have to, you're gonna have to build around it. You might have to make it look a certain way because every animal out there is gonna see that. So if you don't want to be bothered and have some animal licking on your tent, then you might want to, camouflage it or, do other stuff to it. Just an idea. But I've been on for 3 hours. I'm going to go ahead and go. And I'm hoping you guys took this seriously. And yeah, I'm tired. Thanks for stopping by, you guys. God loves you. Stay ready.